What? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Where'd he go? There you go. We lost you for a second. What's up, Facebook? This is Noah Dupree. I'm here with Bryan Casella. Um, Bryan is an agent that I connected with out of Southern California. I'm sure most of you have seen his YouTube videos. That's actually that's how I found him. And then I realized we were at the same company now. So just reached out to him and asked if he would be willing to jump on here with me and maybe share a little bit about his story, how he got started in real estate, and just where he's at now and where he sees it going. But Bryan, if you just want to kind of take a second and tell him, when you started and how you got started, really, I think that'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, sure, man. Thanks for having me. My start in real estate was an interesting one. I did the traditional route most people do, school, college, that kind of stuff. The reason I really pursued college was I was an aspiring basketball player. Got a scholarship after my first year in junior college, ended up playing in the Bay Area. After that, I wanted to pursue playing basketball professionally overseas, and I did for a few years. But going into my third year, I injured my ankle for the second time, got another surgery, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I lost that killer instinct, and unfortunately, my body didn't hold up. So I ended at about 25, I want to say. And for about a year and a half, I was just kind of lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I remember even recently, my dad told me he thought I was going to get really depressed because I dedicated so much time and effort into basketball, my whole life and existence, and it didn't work out. Right. But one day I just drove by a Century 21, and they had one of those banners that said, make 100,000 your first year in real estate. So I said, okay, I'm sure the average person isn't doing that, but there's got to be that one guy who figured it out, and I'm going to talk to him and emulate what he did. So long story short, I go up, talk to the broker, I sign up, and I'm like, okay, let's do the classes. So instead of doing it online, which at that time in 2013, I don't think it was as prevalent, I did the traditional courses at the brokerage, and it took me about a year to get my license between the courses, sending stuff to Sacramento and having the, government office look it over and all that. It was a process, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was just one of those things where while I was in that year process of getting licensed, I was doing the trainings at their office. I was getting to know the day-to-day, shadowing agents. They were nice enough to let me go on appointments with them. And I just saw the level of mediocrity, and even in that office with some top performers, I said, man, I'm going to come in this business and fucking tear it up. I'm going to kill it in this business. They don't know who I am. And I remember going up to the front at some point at the top 10 that they have on the board that they leave there all the time. And I said, well, I'm just letting everybody know right now, by the end of my first year, I'm going to be on this board. Remember me. And everybody kind of laughed. But that lit the fire under my ass. I've always been the underdog. I've always been doubted. I've always been criticized. Same thing in basketball and everything that I did. And I said, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And long story short, I think I finished the year number 7 or 6. I can't remember, on the top 10 and brand new agent. So I just really hit the ground running, really buying into all the old school stuff like Mike Ferry. I was an avid Mike Ferry follower even before I started. Cold call, door knock, roll your sleeves up, work. That's all I did. And in that process, in a couple months, I think I was 3 or 4 months in, I said, you know what? I'm just going to start documenting what I'm doing. I'm going to start posting it on Facebook. I'm going to start doing YouTube videos. And I was doing 1 video a week when I started. And just letting people know, hey, I'm out here door knocking, right? I have my name badge. I have my braces on. I have my suit. I'm ready to go. Let's go find some business. And it slowly just started building on itself. And after, I think it took me a year or a year and a half just to hit my first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It took me that long.
Wow.
Not longer. And from there, it just started evolving. People started commenting and following me, and oh man, this is so cool. To me, because I had literally followed the model of monkey see, monkey do with Mike Ferry, I thought everybody was doing what I was doing. I didn't realize so many people struggled with their mindset and taking action. I knew the average agent wasn't working hard, but I figured they were doing at least something. So to see all these messages from people saying, man, I've been thinking about door knocking for a year. I'm too scared. I won't do it. I can't cold call. I'm afraid to get on video. I was like, dude, so was I. But the goals that I set and what I saw at the end of all that effort, to me, It was so vivid, dude. Like I said, man, if I just knock on doors and call, I can have like a Lamborghini. I was like, dude, that's it. Like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm sold. Like I'm sold. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care what I have to go through. Now, maybe that's some of the pedigree from being in athletics for so long and pushing myself to that level. I've already built that in a different avenue, and I just channeled it to real estate. But it was all on the inside, right? I didn't know anybody when I started. I didn't even own a suit. I had to get a hand-me-down from my dad. Again, I had no previous sales experience. I had never really had a job like that, besides maybe, working at Blockbuster when I was a kid. I'm sure the people who are probably around your age don't even know what a Blockbuster is.
I've been before.
Yeah, seriously. And then all that stuff. So I didn't have an advantage, right? I wasn't naturally good on video. I wasn't naturally a good presenter. I bred those skills that now have led me to where I'm at today with my team and everything. So you fast forward some time. Now obviously, I'm about to hit like 100,000 on YouTube. I
checked it the other day.
Yeah, man, it's really blowing up, and it's just been more than anything one word: consistency, man. I don't care who you are, where you're from. You can't not see me. Like, I'm everywhere. I have friends who've been following me for years, and they're like, dude, I don't watch any of your videos or anything, but every time I open Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I just see you. New video, new post,
You're there.
New story. And to me, that's branding 101 right there. And after about 2.5 years, obviously watching a lot of people from Keller Williams at that time, I said, you know what, the team model looks like something I would like to pursue. I know you haven't asked me yet, but I'm just kind of giving you the timeline of what I did. And it made sense to me, man. I said, you know what, I'm really enjoying speaking and teaching. A lot of people are like coming to me in waves asking. Like, I didn't release a product, dude, until like early 2016. I had people asking me for a year and a half already, dude, make a door knocking product, or dude, do you help? Do you coach? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But then so many people asked me, I was like, okay, why not? And, they did an article for Inman News on my door knocking product, and I've been doing products since then, and I do coaching, but that was actually bred from request. It wasn't me saying, I'm going to be a coach and help people. It was, dude, help us. I was like, okay, sure, why not, if you need it. So when I went the team route, that's that fork in the road that I was telling you earlier before we started recording. I said, I have to make a decision. Do I want to be just a solo real estate agent just working? Or do I want to start a team and then branch out and explore other opportunities? That's why I went with the team, and the more deep it gets, the more I'm really enjoying it. I've really enjoyed morphing into more of a leader. I know that I can be that figure that I really never had getting into the business. I can be that coach for them, that shoulder to lean on, almost like even a father figure sometimes, because I know how much people get tested in this business mentally. And that's something I've really developed in myself, that I can really help my students. I consider them students, man, my employees. I really do. So I have like a stronger relationship. My newest guy, Kevin, he's been with me less than a year, man, like 8-9 months. If you would have seen him in the beginning to what he is now, you would be like in shock. Like, everybody, like his mom, his family, like they messaged me like, dude, what did you do to this kid? He's like a reborn man. Like, what the hell? But that's all that work I tell people to focus on. And I feel like that's missing and it's not taught. That's why I love being a leader. And then from there, dude, when I started the team, I moved to KW. Then from there is when the conversation about eXp came in, because my old mastermind partner, AJ, joined the company probably about 18 months before me. And he had been just, dude, you got to check this out. You got to check this out. And just like everybody else, I was like, dude, stop messaging me. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear about your new little video game company.
Yeah.
It's not cool. Nobody's going to join. It's going to flop, whatever. Like, I'm happy. It wasn't that I was against it. It was just, I'm content, right? I don't really need to move. I'm not thinking about it. But after seeing his posts and talking to him over and over, because we have a pretty good relationship as friends, I said, man, there's got to be something to this eXp thing. I was like, this seems interesting. And the more I looked at it, because at first, how it is, you give it like a little corner of your eye. You're like, oh, what is that? And you really start looking at it. And I was like, man, why didn't I jump on this sooner? So the moment I watched some of the webinars and talked to him, I said, dude, I'm sold. And the way I saw it, dude, and I think this is the biggest key point for people, is there's times when certain things come along, like Dell, Apple, and these things. Now, I'm not saying eXp is going to be that big, right? Of course, we all hope it will. But in the sense of this is a new thing that's going to blow up. I see the potential here. And this time, because I'm sure yourself and other people have had opportunities to jump on something and you didn't, and then you saw where it was years later, I was like, man, this is that one thing I can jump on that I know is just going to skyrocket, and I can contribute to that, right? Because eXp has attracted some really powerful people, dude, whether it's influencers, whether it's top agents. You know, I've looked at some of the training in the cloud. It's pretty top notch, dude. You know, and I've been around. I've been to different KWs. I've done trainings for KWs. Like I told you, I've done trainings for Association of Realtors, all the local boards here. I've gone internationally to speak. I've spoken with the guys from $1 Million Listing. I mean, I've been around the block, dude. So to see that, and I'm like, man, this is actually really nice. Like I'm telling my agents, hey, get on there and get on the cloud and take advantage. That to me, I was like, wow, this is really a genius idea. And once you get in the company, you realize more and more how powerful it really is and how much people are kind of sleeping on it or saying, it's just a little cloud-based brokerage, nothing special. But when you get in, you're like, oh my God, right?
Yeah. What's like the one thing about eXp that was like, I guess it really drove you? It was like, I know it was the growth, but about the company itself, what do you think the most intriguing part was for you?
More than anything, man, aside from it being new and jumping on that, just how revolutionary it is in the sense that pretty much every kind of thought or doubt we might have had in our mind, they fixed it or they addressed it, right? Cloud-based, so we have less or no overhead virtually at all. But the Regis system allows us to meet locally with people all over the place. And we've already taken advantage. It's a genius, right? Like I met somebody in Beverly Hills and we're meeting them like in the same building as Sony, and they're coming up like, oh shit, like they think that you own the office, right? So it already gives off a good impression. You know, it's insane, right? Just that flexibility and that almost, you can say, innovation in itself is so awesome, because the old, hey, I need to go to my local broker to list my house, those days are over. You can sell wherever you want. I mean, that listing we took for over 4 million is like 40 minutes from my house. I'm not the local guy. I'm not some special neighborhood specialist, right? People still kind of believe that, but we're past that now. Clients are even saying, whoa, the brokerage that you're with is cloud-based. That's really cool. Like they're actually understanding what cloud-based means. When 5 years ago, they would have been like, they would look up in the clouds and be like, what are you talking about?
Where is it? That's awesome, man. What, like, I guess for your team that you have, how many people do you have total?
As of right now, we're down one. So it's me, Kevin, Loida. We're 3 agents. We have 1 assistant, Valley, and we have 2 TCs.
Okay. What are your goals for your team within eXp? Are you gonna try to expand in other markets since we only have 1 cap? Are you trying to stay local, or have you thought about that far?
I'm kind of in the thought process in that, because I have been getting that question a lot, and I really want to get to the point where we're really just cranking out here, because we do well, but we're not like these teams selling 200, 300, 400 homes. You know, like I really wanted my team to sell about 70 this year. And by the way, it's looking with some deals falling apart, I don't think we'll hit that, but we're profitable, we're solid. And, you know, myself and my agents are making a lot of money. That's what I'm focused on, right? I don't want to spread myself too thin in that sense. I really want to get an anchor here. So like if I want to pass on this legacy to somebody else, I know, hey, if I hand you Team BC, it's a force to be reckoned with. And I want to create that first before I start really expanding. So I would say right now, the focus is to really grab the niche, get more into luxury, and really just get a good chunk of market share here where I'm at before I even think about doing something like that. Because, you know, I know people like Jeff Cohn and those guys that are selling 1,000 homes or whatever. And like, I need to get to that level first before I start, you know, obviously wanting to expand into other markets.
Yeah, man. I think it's cool that it's way easier, that eXp makes it way easier to do that. You know, with 1 nationwide cap, I mean, we've been here for 3 months, and in that time frame, my dad has launched an expansion team, and he has 15 agents in all different states on his expansion team, and
awesome.
They're all paying 1 cap, and he didn't have to go into a new market and pay a cap for each market that he's in. So I think just the opportunity that it gives you to do that is phenomenal.
Absolutely. And without even trying, I think I already have like about 400 shares of stock. I think I have 20 25 now in my first line and like 40 total or something in the second line or whatever that is, right? I still don't understand the right words for that, but to me, that's another opportunity people don't look at because they think, well, I'm just going to join eXp for that. No, you're not. That's just like, I tell people it's icing on the cake because you're going to keep selling homes and doing what you're doing wherever you're at. But why not have something, especially when we're talking about passive income? What agent out there is really focused on building their real estate portfolio and creating passive income? Very few. Most of them are barely scraping by, able to sell enough homes to pay for their BMW and their apartment. You know what I mean? And I say BMW because every freaking realtor in California has a BMW. It's ridiculous, right? That's why I'll never buy one. But you get what I'm saying. So this allows them to build that, you know, while still doing what they're doing. So to me, it's like a win-win just from that angle, you know?
Yeah, we're down here in Louisiana, we call that lagniappe. It means it's a little something extra. But yeah, dude, I'm a pretty big fan of your car. I saw you just got it back. But can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, that was probably a pretty big goal for you.
Yeah, man. You know, when I got in, like I told you in the beginning, I knew real estate was a vehicle to get me exactly where I'm at right now. You know, especially with the recognition you get, the connections you can make. Like, I remember writing, if people remember, if they've been following me for 4 or 5 years, I used to put on all my accounts, future participant in $1 million listing, right? I used to put that all the time, even before I even sold the house. And now I've literally met virtually every cast member from LA and New York. Like I said, I've spoken with like Josh Altman, for example, in October. That's going to be the 4th time I speak with him at the same event, right?
Yeah.
So people, I like sharing that because people can see. That's how you have to look at real estate or whatever it is, right? Even if somebody's watching this and they're not in real estate, you need to be able to look at what you're doing and be able to say, where is this going to take me in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Because that's the same exact thing I did, dude, with eXp. And I said, man, this thing is going to take off. So in regards to me, it's setting goals, but also seeing it and seeing the timeline. I think a lot of people will kind of sit down, you know, they might talk to you or maybe me and they kind of feel inspired. They're like, oh, I'm going to write my goals down. That's just one part of it. If I ask them about the goals, I'm like, how dear is that to you? Most people are going to be like, well, nah, it's just, I wrote down the goal. Dude, if you ask me to like describe what it would be like to achieve my goals and when, I could talk to you for an hour, dude. I'd be like, this Lamborghini, I'm going to have it in exactly 2 years. And this is how I'm going to do it, dude. You ready? Go ahead and sit down and, you know, get ready.
Grab the popcorn.
Right, exactly. But that's how fired up you have to be. And people think that, well, dude, you were just born with enthusiasm. No, I wasn't. The deeper you get down this rabbit hole of personal development, working hard, and actually creating your life and the steps that you're taking, you will naturally be more satisfied, more content, more enthusiastic about life because that's the process of it, right? Whether you do it my way, your way, it doesn't matter. All I can do at the end of the day is control my effort and my attitude. And because I realize that, hey, if I control my actions and what I'm doing, and it's contributing and building so much for me, you know, journaling, goals, working every day and doing the hustle, man, that feeds my attitude because I know, hey, every day I wake up, I'm going to get out there and make it happen. Whether the world is against me or not, I'm going to win. And I think that attitude is what has attracted a lot of people because like we were saying, man, if you put yourself out there and work and you start achieving, even if you try to hide beneath a rock, you're still going to get criticism. You're still going to get hate. Right? Whether you're your authentic self or you're the perfect politically correct figure, you're still going to get hate and discontent from people because that's just the way it is. Right? But what will people do, dude? One guy hates, they're like, oh, that guy hated on you. How about the other 50 messages that I got that were positive? How come nobody points at those, you know? So it's one of those things that I think I give a voice to a lot of people who get criticism because I kind of help them handle it and I call people out. And if somebody tries to attack me, normally, depending on the circumstance, I'll call them out or I'll put them in their place. And a lot of people tell me like, whoa, that's cool. But I just feel it's the right thing to do. Right? Because I really, and then I'll pass it back to you, dude. I really, as a person, do not like when somebody hates because a lot of people out there, man, they're not at the stage yet where they can handle it. And that hater might actually stop them from going after what they want. And that kind of upsets me because I feel like, you know, if you want to do it, who is Joe Schmo or this person to really say you can't? And some people believe it, you know, they're like, oh, well, Joe Schmo said I can't do it, so I probably can't. And they won't even try, dude. That's what upsets me the most. You know, that's why sometimes with haters, it's, you know, I ignore it a lot of times now, but in the beginning stages, I was very gung-ho about putting them in their place. And I think people realize that after a while, that's why it seemed like the extreme attacks on me started to go down and dwindle time after time, you know?
Yeah. Going back to you talked about your goals and eXp, 5, 10, 15 years from now. What do you where do you see eXp for you in the next 5 to 15 years? What do you see?
I just see nothing but, glory, dude, really. I mean, the company's growing. We're getting more than 1,000 agents right now a month or something like that. I literally see it being an icon like a Keller Williams or something like that, man, just more effectively, right? I see individuals who have put in the work having a good amount of stock, right? Because I didn't own stock before this, and now I do. So that's now making me educate myself more about the stock market and possibly invest more. So it's helping me. Obviously, the revenue share in 5 years, I could see, especially us who got in early, making a ton of money, right? A ton of money, like 6 figures for sure a month, I think, minimum, if not more.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you said, it's so easy to create this expansion team. So for me, it's like, man, any route I decide to do seems so effortless with eXp. There's no blocks in any road that I would possibly take. It's so free and open, and the path they've created seems to be one of the cleanest and easiest paths that you can have in whatever it is that you want to do. Whether you want to be a solo agent, expansion, run a local team, they've just really, it's almost like they figured out the sweet science of a brokerage. You know what I mean? It's almost like they got it and they figured it out. So I see nothing but positivity, man. And I'm even trying to think in my mind, what if they do something that no other real estate company has ever done? Like, what if they team up with Elon Musk and then we send realtors to the moon and stay there? I don't know where it's going to go, but that's kind of where my mind is going because, they've been so innovative thus far. Who's really to say what they can or can't do in the future,
We may actually have a cloud brokerage.
Seriously, yeah, I know. Fly up there. We have our own little private little spaceship and go in the cloud.
I know, dude. That would be awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you hopping on here with me and just kind of sharing with everybody. I know I literally I'm not even joking, probably 15 people message me. Oh my God, how do you know Bryan Casella? I don't. I just messaged him.
Just message me, man. People won't message me, man. They'll say that and then they won't message me. And I do my best to answer all the messages, but I'm pretty accessible, man. I mean, a lot of people want to push the line sometimes and do that kind of stuff. But if people message me, Instagram, Facebook, I normally answer. I can't get to all of them. But, I would say if you are going to message me, guys, don't send me the 10-page wall of text because I don't have time to write it. Just send me a question or say what's up and we'll talk.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, I was listening to a Gary Vee podcast and he was talking about all these public figures and all these people talk about him. And he's like, why not just take the chance and try to talk to him and ask him that question? He's like, what's the worst that could happen? So I took the chance and we're live on Facebook. And I think it's really cool for other people to get to see you, who see you on YouTube, see you live on Facebook. I think it's really cool that you were open to doing that for them.
Hey, and you just messaged me, bro. You were like, hey, you want to do it? I was like, sure, let's do it. It wasn't it wasn't like, yeah, it was like, okay, talk to my assistant, dude, and we'll do it in 3 weeks. I'm booked. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no. You're like, how about tomorrow at 5? And I was like, let's do it.
Perfect.
Well, man, like I said, I really appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions, do you want to tell them the best way to reach you?
Since this is on Facebook, I would say message me on Facebook. That's probably the best way for you to message me. I've done a pretty good job of going through all the filtered messages. So even if I get a message from somebody who's not a friend, it should pop up and I'll be able to get back to you within a reasonable amount of time. But thank you for having me, dude. This is fun. I love this company. I want to, obviously shout it out from the top of all the mountains in the world so people can hear. But the more we do this, dude, the more people get a little bit more educated about the reality of eXp, not the rumors, not the crap, not like, what you sent me, that DM you sent me, or that, right now that person, like how upset are they that they have to do something like that? You know what I mean? So that just further proves the power, I think, of this 3-letter brokerage, eXp.
Well, yeah, I made a post just before we started, and I said, it's okay to say no, but you just make sure that you know what you're saying no to. Exactly. A lot of people don't take the time to hear about it, and it's really sad for some people, but I mean, that's their choice.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
So, man, like I said, I appreciate it, and I know you got some stuff to take care of, so I'll let you run. But if any of y'all have any questions for Bryan, like you said, just shoot him a message on Facebook. He's a super cool guy, and I know he'd be happy to respond.
Cool. Thanks again, bro.
right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. See y'all.
Bye-bye.